Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Three Hammers podcast. Here as always with Luke and Lee. How we doing, lads?
Good, mate. Nice to see you all again. Number of subscribers are slowly growing and it's making me very, very happy. And the videos are getting very good views, also making me very happy. Still waiting to give you another win, but hopefully it will come after the international break. Guys, on what was the game? Middlesbrough. Lee, we've heard your opinion, heard my opinion. Paul, what was your opinions on Middlesbrough?
I mean, it was just sort of the team choice was interesting. I don't know whether it was brave from Slav or whether it was last throw of the dice because he didn't know what to do. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was better, but it weren't great either. Antonio up front, he was busy and he worked. It kept the defence busy, but I don't think it really worked. He's not a striker, just as much as he's not a right back. He's not a striker either. You know, that's not the solution. Zaza came on second half, didn't really do anything of note. I mean, it was just. Can I pick
a positive for you, mate? Obiang for me.
Yeah,
I think Obiang was excellent in midfield.
Very, very good. It was good to see him come in, and I thought Arbeloa was good as well. I wouldn't have minded to see him start. Shame, obviously, I have to say Byram got injured. Massive shame about that. I mean, it's a joke. How many injuries can we pick up now, especially in the fullback positions?
We're in trouble as well. It's in positions where we keep getting in trouble as well. That's what's annoying about it. So does Oak start for you?
Obiang starts going forward, and I thought actually Ogbono did alright left back as well, considering it's not his. I know he's played there in the past, but he did all right, really.
Obiang keeps things ticking over. Obiang just keeps things ticking over lovely.
I'll say as well, I've been very critical of Collins this season, but I think he had a good game as well.
I thought they both did. I thought him and Reed. Yeah. But then again, you play someone in front of them who's got a brain, unlike the other two that have been playing this season, and, you know, it helps them out.
Just a touch, guys, on the goal. It'd be rude not to. I put a tweet out, if Lionel Messi would have scored that goal, that would have been everywhere, absolutely everywhere. Unbelievable for me. Obviously one of the best goals at London Stadium so far. But,
the best goal at London Stadium, without doubt. One of the best West Ham goals of all time. Absolutely phenomenal goal. I said it at the time, straight away. I said that was like Messi. That was exactly like Messi would have scored that goal. Phenomenal goal.
It struck me as someone who doesn't trust his teammates a little bit.
That's what I did. I thought he's just thought, you know what? None of these geezers on this pitch around me can do anything. I'm just going to do it myself.
But it does beg the question, mate. Payet being the mate, where you been all season? Why haven't you done that all season?
You say that.
Service.
This is annoying me because a lot of people have been saying this about, where is Payet started the season? Well, he didn't even play for the first few games.
No, but other than the free kick against Accrington.
Other than that, apart from, Antonio scored 5 goals and 3 of them have been assisted by Payet.
Corners.
What about the Rabona?
Yeah.
So you're telling me you've been happy with Payet this season?
I've not been happy.
He's the only one who's been doing anything.
One at a time.
He's not done. You know, like last season, we used to say about him, like, he ain't played well. But then you look at the stats, he's still got 2 assists in the game.
The thing that bugs me is that last season he was coming for the ball, and it strikes me that he's hiding a bit this year.
I think they're all hiding, though. I think they
are, but if you're that good, and you think you're that good, and if you are the star of the team, which undoubtedly he is our best player by a million miles, then you need to you should be the one dragging your teammates out of the mire.
But he
kind of did with that goal. But other than that goal, did he do much else on Saturday?
There's only so much he can do. Why should he carry the team throughout 90 minutes every game?
Last season it wasn't 90 minutes, but he was doing things, even if it was every 5 minutes or so. He was continuously doing things. On Saturday, he did that goal, and that's it.
But last season, he had other players working off him. What's he had to work with this season? Like you say, we said about that goal, it seemed like it had got to the point where Payet just said, that's it. None of these is doing anything. I'm doing it myself. That's the stage he's got to. He's obviously not having as much an impact, and he's not doing as much, or it doesn't appear he's doing as much, because no one's giving him anything. What's he supposed to do? Who's he supposed to pass it to? What's he supposed to do if everyone around him's doing nothing? You can tell he's getting frustrated by it.
I think we're going to see the best of him when Cresswell comes back. after the international break. I think Cresswell does a lot defensive work for him, overlaps him, and I think you'll see the best of Pyatt again when Aaron's back.
And
Do you agree? Yeah,
I agree. I do agree with that, and I think Lanzini being dropped for no real reason, and obviously Lanzini missed the start of the season as well. I don't think that has helped him, because you can tell when and now I've seen people say they can't play together. That's nonsense.
Oh, well, Luke and I caught that on Saturday at the game. There's a bloke behind us who, let's just face it, is negative about absolutely everything. But he was screeching, they can't play together. What a load of rubbish.
Nonsense.
Yeah, because
Like
they can, and they did last season.
You can see when they do play together how much they look for each other and how much they work with each other.
It's that world-class brain. They've both got that world-class brain. They're on each other's level.
And I think... Sorry, Lee. I was going to say, I think both of them are not quite as effective without the other one on the pitch, as much as people now seem to be saying they don't work together, which is ridiculous.
Do you know, I think there are times when it won't be the best idea to plan together. And in my opinion, I think Saturday was one of those where we didn't need to... I want to choose my words carefully, because they're not luxury players as such, because Lanzini does get involved. So I personally think that Saturday was a time to solid up a bit and to play the three that he did, and I think it was the right call to drop him. But then again, there are times this season when they're going to need them to play together. And it's not they can't play together. They can play together. It's the game. I think you have to. take that into consideration.
It's not obviously. It's a bit of a silly comparison, obviously, because there's total differences in class. But could you see Barcelona ever turning around and saying Neymar and Messi can't play in the same team? I know it's a totally different class.
Ronaldo and Bale are very similar style of player as well. It's at the end of the day, if you're good enough, you can play together with anyone on the pitch.
Yeah.
Do you know one of the things I did want to pick up, and it was confusing me on Saturday, is why they started shooting from 40 yards? Was it just lack of ideas? Lack of trust?
Again, I think it was trust. I think they don't trust the other players to do anything. So they're probably thinking, if I pass it to whoever, they're just going to give it away. I might as well just shoot. Like you can tell there is no trust there in their teammates to do something with the ball. And I think it is panicking a bit as well. Trying a bit too hard. I
wasn't happy with the point though. In hindsight, yes, we've stopped the rut, but it's not a good result. Let's not be all positive and pretty. That was not a good result.
I don't think it was a bad result either, though. I don't know what the word is for in between.
Moderate.
Obviously, at the start of the season, you would have said Middlesbrough at home, you won 3 points, but you've got to take in everything around. You've got to take in the situation and where we've been this season, and actually, given all that, I think it was a good result. I think if we would have lost the game, it could easily have been the end of Slav. I think like I say, on paper, no, it wasn't a good result. But actually, when you take everything into consideration and how crap we've been this season, then actually a point at home to Middlesbrough when we were 1-0 down. Don't forget, and let's remember what's happened in the past when we've been 1-0 down. We completely, and albeit it took a bit of absolute genius to get us back into it. But I don't know. It's a good. And sorry, the other thing to consider, Paul, is that the international break. If we would have went into that international break on a defeat, it just would have been terrible because it's on everyone's mind.
It was good to stop the rut with goals. Well.
I mean, I think it depends on how we build on this now. If we now build on this and we get better, then I'd say, that was fine. That was a good result. We've used it. It's a platform to build on. If we end up coming back after the international break, getting trounced again, then no, obviously it weren't a good result. We've basically papered over the cracks. Do you know what I mean? So it all depends on where we go now.
Something we've been starting this season, guys, very quickly. We can do this one-worded, really, for this bit. The old flag's gone again. I'm just going to take it down again like last week. Review of the month and preview of the month. One word review of September, guys. Crap. I don't think there's much more that's needed really for a review of the month. Poor.
Go and open up a thesaurus and look under rubbish and then choose every word underneath it.
Yeah. Leaked loads of goals. Just looking ahead, guys. Yeah, I don't really want to go into the review of the month too much this month. Preview of the month, guys. Looking ahead, there's, I would say, winnable games. You've got Crystal Palace is our next game. Tompkins probably will be playing against us.
Great record there, last couple of games though.
Yeah,
won
but
3-1,
I'm
haven't
quite
we,
nervous with that game. I think people like Christian Benteke, it's going to be one of those ones. There you go. If you would have signed him,
He's nailed on. He'll score 100%.
yeah.
I reckon he'll probably score 2, actually.
For me, though,
Being
the
positive.
the bigger game of the month is Sunderland. The next home game, that is huge for me. It's huge. We really, if we're not beating Sunderland, then you are the worst team in the league, really. No?
Yeah, I think so. And after that, Everton away, Stoke at home. So taking out the away games, which are tough, really tough couple of away games coming up. The 2 home ones, got to get 6 points.
Yeah. We've actually only got one home league game in October. Stoke is actually in November.
Oh, okay.
But in that as well, obviously the Chelsea game as well. That's a nice one to look forward to. Again, I'd be happy with 4-6 points. I don't know. I can't say I'm going to go 9 points. If we can get 2 wins, it'll be a bonus. It really would. Yeah. Just touching on Middlesbrough again, guys, because the Chelsea game flagged it up in my head. The trouble at the weekend. There was trouble. I see it. I did actually see it. The policing was terrible. They let the away fans. There's this bit that's the track where the athletes used to warm up. They sent the away fans down there. Then literally about a minute later, the home fans went, and then we all started sort of running towards each other. There was an Asian guy about 55 with all blood running down his head. It's just ridiculous. It is like there's some stupid fans out there that still want to fight.
There is, and
off the island, the policing stops. Once you start going down that Greenway, mate, it's going to be a nightmare. That Chelsea game is going to be a nightmare.
There's a few things I want to say about the Middlesbrough. The first of all, the 2 guys that were bouncing on the trampoline thing inside the ground.
Yeah, what is that?
They'd be the first to sue if they fell through it.
Fell through it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my head. You guys would sue so quickly if you did that. The second one is what really bugs me is the amount of times I go to nearly every away game of West Ham, and the bigger ones I'm thinking Tottenham away, Stoke away. You're caged in. Tottenham away in the League Cup when we beat them when Maiga scored the header. We were kept in the ground for half an hour. Birmingham away, again, you're caged in. And again, the semi-final of the League Cup, we were there for about 45 minutes. We were stuck behind. So they can do it. They can keep fans behind. And I think they will do it for Chelsea, actually. It's the only way that's going to work.
They can't have them wandering around. They can't.
No. The other thing is just walk them to West Ham. Go in a massive group. That's what they do with Millwall. Mill used to come. They used to take them en masse. And they used to move them.
Police escort all the way.
Yeah, exactly. There were ways to do it, and I think I hope, and I think that it will happen. I'd only say if you want to, and people watching this, I'm sure are thinking, "Oh, yeah, Chelsea, I'm going to get involved, going to have a bit of a fight, going to have a drink and a punch up." Do it somewhere else. Go down the Greenway and do it. Don't do it outside the ground where there's families and people who just don't want to get involved in that. Go somewhere else. Go and have your fight somewhere else.
And if you love the club, if you love the club as much as you say,
go to Syria and fight ISIS.
Yeah.
Don't fight people. Don't fight football fans. It's ridiculous. If you've got that much anger inside of you, join the army and go and fight to save our country rather than doing things like that. It annoys me so much.
It's only the club that get punished as well. That's the problem with it as well. The FA are only going to take so many more of these incidents before they start clamping down on West Ham, and they start dishing out fines, dishing out points, penalties. Who knows?
The other thing to consider with it, so my third point was that I think there was 3 arrests. Granted, the police were quite slow, but Hull played Chelsea, and I think there was 4 times that many arrests.
But it's highlighted more because it's West Ham at the moment.
It's been highlighted more.
Yeah, and the thing as well is there weren't enough police there to arrest anyone.
There is a police.
There was certainly more.
It's nice, yeah.
Yeah, there's certainly more of a police. And in fact, for the first time, I saw police on horses, which always had up and park every single match. It was the first time I'd seen them as well at a new stadium.
Yeah. So that's that, guys. Just another touch on it. Antonio did make the England team again, which I'm really proud, because I thought it was just going to be a one-off then. When Allardyce went, I thought, that's it. He's not getting... hopefully he's got a chance to play. They're only playing Malta, no disrespect, but they're not great, and hopefully... I just want to see him get on. At least get 10 minutes or something. Do you know what I mean?
You know what annoyed me is that Andrew Townsend was called up as a replacement for someone, I can't remember who. Someone dropped out and Townsend got called up. If he then comes on or starts ahead of Antonio, then that will annoy me.
That's ridiculous.
Because if he's a late call up and gets, I know they're different players, ish, sort of. But that will annoy me. I think perhaps it was probably Allardyce had already named the squad, and Southgate just said, "I'll keep the same one." Oh, what the hell? Glenn Johnson, for crying out loud, got called up.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Weird. He's pulled out now. He's injured, but it was just really strange.
Can I ask you guys? Obviously, this show is not going to be that long this week. There's not much to talk about, guys. But what do you make of Karen Brady's comments today about the club not having no? What was it? What was her actual words?
Culture.
Had no culture and needed a revamp.
A rebrand. So it's basically the quote that has caused all the trouble was the fact that she said when they came to the club. She said the Olympic Stadium was an ideal opportunity to rebrand the club, and when they came to the club had no culture. That's what's caused all the trouble. Now, if you've seen me talk before, you'll know I'm not Karen Brady's biggest fan. I can't stand the woman. I hate the woman, and I can't wait till she's done with this club. But it does seem to be this has been taken massively out of context. To be fair,
I was looking on the train on Twitter on the way home, and I just went to see what you boys thought. Like I say, I've only seen what you say, the out of context stuff.
What I read it as we were a club with no pressure. That's what I read it as. Is that we were a club that didn't matter if you win, lose, or draw. I just think she's so silly for getting involved. I think she should just take a bit of a back seat for now. You know, just keep it quiet. Don't do your column. You know,
we don't need drama at the club at the moment.
We don't. And you know what happens? The press love a team in trouble because they love it, and they love to jump on the bandwagon. You wouldn't see, like for example. I saw on the BBC website today, I'm going off topic here. Actually, this may come back onto topic in a bit. We're talking about the ladies' team, and that came out this week as well.
Oh, yeah.
There's a massive story on the BBC website. Chelsea ladies to play at Stamford Bridge for the first time. And that's a story. The West Ham ladies played at Upton Park a few times. Wasn't a story, was it?
No, and they're jumping on it because of what's come out of us.
Because that's a good news story for them. But West Ham did that. Loads of other clubs probably have played at their equivalents ground. Anyway, going back to Karen Brady, I think the point she was trying to make was that when they came in, and you know, people, I'm guilty of this myself, and I've often said that actually that not knowing what's going sort of the happiness of beating teams is so great that actually it'd be a bit boring if you was winning everything all the time. I've said that. I think we've all slightly been guilty of that. And I think that is the point she was trying to get across, is that they were trying to change that, and moving to the stadium was a chance to see ourselves as a bigger club with a bigger reputation, and a reputation for going into every game. And we got a bit of this last season, actually, thinking that we can win every game we go into, whereas
definitely
being a bit...
the Champions League was possible.
Exactly, where I think what the point... I'm sort of going back again here, but I think the point she was trying to make was that that's the culture they wanted to change, to make us into winners, rather than people that were happy beating Tottenham once a season. Don't get me wrong, it is great beating Tottenham once a season, but I think that was the point she tried to make. I just don't think it was the right time, or she did it in the right way.
Yeah, it was
that being said, it was a great opportunity for everyone to just attack her a bit more.
It was a poor choice of words. She'll get no sympathy from me whatsoever, because, as I said, I can't stand the woman. I really can't stand the woman, and I really can't wait till she's done with the club. I think she needs to leave. The pressure's getting up and up and up now. But yeah, I do think this has been taken a bit out of context, blown a bit out of proportion. So it's fair to say, you know, you have to kind of try and be a little bit balanced about it. As much as you might not like the woman, you know, there are more legitimate things to be jumping on her back for. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's right.
It's like, it's not in Karen Brady's interests to slag off West Ham, is it?
Yeah, to be fair, yeah, you're right there.
I just don't... She's a businesswoman. She has no... It's just not in her interest to do this. So I just don't understand why she does... You know what? David Sullivan's the same. They like to talk, and they like to talk to the press, and I think they get a bit of a buzz out of talking to the press.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting you say that, because I bet any money you like, see when she eventually does leave the club, whether it's when the days sell up, or she gets a position in Parliament or whatever, she will lay into us like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. Yeah, so...
to cover the ladies' team.
You'd like to touch on?
The ladies' team point as well. That annoyed me, actually. But for not probably the reason that you'd think. So, people that don't know, it came out that West Ham are being funny with the ladies' team and blah 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 blah. You've probably read it, Google it, you'll find it, and it is an important issue. Obviously, it is, but it is. I'm of the opinion that it's a separate club. It's owned by that guy who's I can't remember his name, but he's very active again on Twitter. The owner, and he's there with his son as well, or dad, or I can't remember which way around it is. The thing that annoys me is this guy says he's a West Ham fan. So whilst when we're at our lowest point in a number of years, do you choose to bring it out to drag us even further into the rubbish?
I agree.
Why choose this moment when this is apparently been going on for ages and ages and ages? Why choose this moment right now to bring it up? It annoys me so much because we do not need any more negative press.
Publicity.
Exactly, and it's just more bad press for the club. And he's just laid more and more on West Ham, and it's just given other fans, the newspapers, Sky, BBC, everyone like that. It's given them an opportunity to just say, as well as all this other stuff with West Ham, now they're sexist as well.
It's not the first time there's been drama and problems with the ladies' team either. It weren't that long ago when it was the captain, wasn't it? Got
Stacey Little.
Yeah, Stacey Little. She got sacked. And it sounded like she was basically trying to take over the dressing room, undermining the current manager who's now left. And then there were, all kinds of rumours and stuff, which I don't really want to touch on because it's not what we need to be talking about. But, it's not as if the ladies' team has been completely trouble-free up till now either. Do you know what I mean?
It's the point that Lee makes. The two clubs, yes, they are the same name, but they're separate clubs.
They're registered. So West Ham Ladies is registered with Companies House, and that guy, it's really bugged me. I can't remember his name, the owner, but he is there. He's on there as the owner. He's the owner of West Ham Ladies PLC or whatever it is. I don't know, but they are registered as a separate club. So why West Ham it's not up to West Ham to pay for travel. It's not up for West Ham to supply them with kits. If you're down as a separate club, basically what's happened is they've run out of ways to make money, and they're running out of money, so now they've chosen this opportunity to cry to West Ham because they're the big brother essentially of the club, and it's a shame. And it would be great if it was in-house and it was all one thing.
Well, they have said that they want to move it in-house. I think they have been trying to for a while, to be fair, but your guy, whoever he is, won't give the club up. So
let us know, guys. Let us know what you think about the women's team. If it's something you feel passionate about, drop it in the comments. Let us know. Guys, there's not much news this week, so I really don't want to make this a sort of show that's just filler. If there is anything else, guys, I'll just give you another 30 seconds to have a think if there's anything you've seen before I go on to the questions.
Nothing major, really. The youth team seem to be doing well. Dominguez Kina still tearing it up, scored from the halfway line.
Yes, that was a great goal. The lob,
pretty special.
Yeah, please check that out, guys, on YouTube. It's an incredible goal.
We got knocked out last night of the Checker Trade Trophy, which was short-lived. So not much happening. International breaks are terribly boring.
Yeah. Let's go on to the questions, guys. Like I say, we don't want to make it too long this week. Joe from Twitter, Torre or Enna Valencia on your left wing if you had to choose?
Do you know what I was going to say about Torre? And I think I said it in the vlog that we did. I can't remember.
Oh, he was awful.
He was dreadful. He was absolutely dreadful.
Awful.
But I can kind of see Slab, who's been under a lot of pressure and he's had a lot of hate from a lot of people, wanting to put his mate in. I can kind of see him wanting to go to someone he can trust. That being said, he pulled him off at half time, so he obviously realised that it was a mistake. I can kind of see the logic in putting him in.
He looks so unfit.
Yeah, it was. It's like he's just got no sort of spatial awareness or sort of any clue about what's going on or his teammates, and the ball just sort of bounces off him. I'd probably choose Enna, to be honest.
Callum, do you think that Zaza just needs a bit of confidence to start scoring? I definitely see a player in there somewhere. I totally agree. I see on one of the YouTube channels, actually, it just looks like he's trying too hard to score. He is desperate to score. He is a good player. I can see something. He's not going to be a 25 goal a season striker, but he can be the sort of player that creates goals, I think, as well.
He's got a good goal scoring record throughout his career.
Yeah, we 1 in 3.
So there is obviously a player in there. I don't know. To be honest, I agree. I think a goal would do his confidence a world of good, obviously. I can't see it coming. I don't think he's going to score for us. It's a shame to say that, but I don't think it's going to work out.
Yeah, it is a shame because, like I say, there is something there. Like when he come on, he was busy. He wanted to do things. He does want to work for the club. It's not like he's just turned up for a payday.
This might not be, people might disagree with this, but I think we saw more from Kaleri when he played than we have done from Zaza since he's been playing. As regards to a goal threat, I think if we'd have been playing Kaleri regularly, he would have probably scored by now. Do you know what I mean?
Get on the bench now, which is surprising.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
But so does Carroll come back in?
He's going to have to, yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be pleased to hear that, Lee.
Yeah. We're on Lee's team with that one, definitely. OISIN, Osin, I'm going to say. If Payet left for 60 million in January, what realistic signings or signing would you want as a replacement?
I know it's hypothetical, but we're not going to get 60 million for Payet anymore. I mean, that ship sailed. Certainly.
You think he could go in January, though?
No. I think if we're in the same situation as we are now, he might try and push a move. But not much gets done. There's very rarely a massive move in January. I can't see.
But that's the thing with January. If he does go in January, that is when you get the big moves at the end. No, like your 50 million Torreses and things like that.
It's just quite. If you look over the last few transfer windows, it's been quite quiet in January, and I can't see a big move.
Who's gonna come in for him at that money?
Yeah,
as Champions League quarter-finalist. No.
I can't see it. I can't see it.
He's got that. That's a good point. That he's got that he's not cup tied in the Champions League, so he can go straight into a squad. That being said, I think
he'll go in the summer though.
Again, it's his age, though, isn't it? I can't see. I don't know.
If he doesn't go next summer, he won't go anywhere. Then I think next summer is his last chance at that big move. But
the thing is, he moved to West Ham knowing...
Is he 30 now or 31?
I think he's just turned
30.
Yeah. But he moved to West Ham a year ago, knowing what he was moving to. So if...
Yeah, but they don't care, mate. I love Payet, but he don't love us. He don't care. He don't care. He's got no allegiances to West Ham at all.
Thing is, though, if that were true, I think he could have gone in the summer. Because if you're that good a player, you can push for a move easily.
Yeah, but they probably said to it that...
Look at Pogba. He wanted to move to United and it happened.
Yeah, they had to pay the world record transfer fee, though.
Yeah, but that was age as well, wasn't it? Was he 22, 23?
Yeah,
so
I know, but that's
that
probably
consideration.
That is probably what David Sullivan may have had that conversation with him and said, yeah, you can go, mate, but someone's got to pay this big boy money.
Well, the rumours are it happened, wasn't it?
PSG,
PSG. And the rumours are that PSG come in and they said to him, 100 million. And apparently... you don't know, but there were rumours at the time that Payet said he wanted to go.
Yeah.
And we said, unless they pay what we think you're worth, no. Which is right. Yeah. That's the right thing to do.
It would not surprise me if that was going on when he weren't playing in them first 4 games season. Because there was that bit of, are they going to come back with that 60, 70 million figure?
There was certainly something up at the first, because he weren't injured. I don't buy that he was injured.
No.
Because he played for France.
Yeah. In terms of replacement... I don't know. I'd like to see again who is he, but I'd like to see a leader come in. If we're getting rid of someone of that quality, you need a real, very good leader to come in. I think.
Problem is, if we're in the same situation we are now, no bugger's going to want to come unless you pay him ridiculous money with a release clause.
I think definitely to replace him, he is a world class player at the minute, and to replace him with another the one that keeps coming to my mind is the one who we were continuously linked with is James Rodriguez.
And that ain't going to happen.
And we could probably get him for about that money, but there's no chance he'd ever want to come to West Ham.
No.
So, I mean, what world class there is not. We couldn't even get Lacazette, Lacazette to come to West Ham, do you know what I mean? On Batshuayi, let alone a world class player. So
if Carlos Bacca would have come, who is a fellow Colombian, is he Colombian, Bacca? He was.
Yeah.
So is in Valencia.
No, he's Ecuador.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, my bad.
If Bacca would have come Colombian, maybe I might have said, you know what, it might have been a bit of a pull for Rodriguez to go. Yeah, God, I'll go and play with him, mate. But
who did we have who's Colombian? Oh, was it Armoro, Pablo Armoro? He was Colombian.
Yeah. Pablo Armoro. Yeah. Moving on. Jarvis or Obina? What a question from legends there. Obina or Jarvis?
I liked Tabina.
I like Obina.
He actually he did alright after leaving West Ham as well.
Yeah, he was alright.
But floaty cross Jarvis.
Or Abraham Grant team. That was a very poor Abraham Grant team. But Jarvis, Jesus Christ, awful.
Yeah,
Floaty crosses.
When you think the amount of money we paid for him as well.
Yeah, and I had a lot of belief when he come. You probably, if you could dig out an old tweet of mine, I did actually wish him luck one year, saying you got to get the England team. Yeah, all right, mate. That really happened, didn't it?
I think I called it quite early on, to be honest, that he was.
But he did at Wolves. He was a pacey player. He was pacey. He used to put the ball in nice. I wanted him. I did want him at West Ham. I wanted him at the time, and I wanted Robert Snodgrass. They're the two players I wanted at the time.
If you like your career, don't come to West Ham, I think is the...
No, that's right, mate.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind back. Still, I wouldn't mind back. Is Junior Stanislas.
Yeah, he's done right, actually. He's the only one we've sold and has gone on to do anything, really.
Yeah, pacey. Alex Epstein. Why can't they get anything going? All the other English Premier League teams run and have great sets in front of goal. West Ham has nothing going on. So that we can't get a run going, we can't get goals. What's going on?
It's been like that for a while, actually. Going back to like the one thing that really annoys me, and it has been going on since Sam was in charge. We have very, very few shots on target per game. Very, very few shots on target per game. And the difference was last season, we still weren't having many shots on target, but we were scoring a higher percentage. And if at the time, like if you looked at the stats, it was an unusually high percentage. And obviously that hasn't lasted.
We had positive goal difference as well. So at points in the season, we wasn't conceding a lot of goals either.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I completely understand what the guy's saying. Like, I think the same with watching West Ham. We're so slow to build attacks. And we're so predictable, and we just like realistically, this whole season, how many times can you think of the opposition keeper having to make a save, like actually having to make a save?
Not really, mate. Not where I can't remember many. If I excuse like sort of cliche, is like ooh moments.
I can't think of any.
Do you know the only time we've had a sustained period of pressure was probably West Brom when the game was gone.
And Watford.
Second half.
That first half.
Watford first half. And a little bit, although on the break we nearly got done in. Man City in the second half, there was a sort of 10-15 minute when we scored where we thought, hang about, could get back into this.
But I think, there's been sustained possession.
But nothing, no chances.
Nothing, there's been no pressure in the box. I think a pundit actually did say that. Like last year, West Ham, real sustained pressure. They used to close teams into their like 18-yard box for a long time.
I'd be interested to see how many shots off target, because then you kind of...
It was quite light actually the weekend.
Yeah.
It was 3 on, but I think we actually had 20 shots, but you got to think about 12 of them went 40 yards over the bar.
All the stats are in a review.
Two different issues.
Yes,
I
noticed it myself.
You're looking at two different issues then, aren't you? Because if we're getting a lot of shots off target, then it's the fault of the people that should be putting them away, which I think is the issue. But if we're not even doing that, then it's the fault of the people supplying.
Yeah, but the thing is most games we're not like I'd say, because I do the stats for the reviews and that, and we're probably getting around 10-12 shots per game. But when you're seeing, like at the weekend, when 4 of them are coming from miles outside the box that have got no realistic chance of scoring,
that just says you can't close the team down. Break a team down.
A lot of those shots as well go down as shots, but they're blocked. So block shots, we have quite a lot of block shots every game. But that just means they're just kicking it for the sake of it. There's not an actual goal scoring chance. They're just shooting for the sake of it. Yeah. And this is actually a point I wanted to make about talking about Zaza, and then when Antonio played up front, and it just, to me, it showed at the moment it doesn't matter who we play up front. Like I say, none of our strikers have scored a goal. I actually think not a single one of our strikers have had a shot on target this season. I'm sure I read that, but definitely none of them have scored. And I honestly think at the minute it doesn't matter who we play. No, they're not going to score because we're not creating the chances for them. They're not getting the support. And the issue's elsewhere. Like, we keep trying to rotate the strikers. I don't think that's the answer. You know, we're just not making the chances for whatever reason. I don't know.
Yeah, we need to play to the striker's strengths. You know, like look at, for example, Benteke at Liverpool. They weren't playing to his strengths. At Crystal Palace now, they're playing to his strengths, putting balls in. Guess what? He's scoring goals. Next question. Danny Adams. Who would you rather play up front, Haha or Valencia?
Who's Haha?
Zaza.
Oh, sorry. All the questions are very similar this week.
Zaza, obviously, at the minute.
Zaza,
Valencia's shocking. Jesus. What do you make of Valencia's comments on Everton's training?
I haven't seen
I haven't
that.
seen them. No.
He said in an interview that Everton's training is a lot more intense than West Ham, where it seems to be a bit more of a jolly up.
It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
But didn't Bilic get? Didn't we say last week that he got told to lessen the training a bit?
Maybe. I don't know.
I haven't seen that. Do you know, I was actually thinking about this week, and I actually was thinking about it, and like the problems with training and injuries. Are we really training properly? I mean, like,
What, not fit? They don't look fit.
think back to who's the manager, Slaven Bilic. Like, you got Julian Dix on the bench as well. Them two are known for not training seriously, and they used to sneak off and have a fag and all the rest of it during training. And they're the guys now that are in charge of getting the first team training and up to fitness and all the rest of it. Are they the right people to be doing that? Maybe
But
our
they-
training
yeah.
ain't.
I didn't even think of it like that. There's renowned stories of them too. Julian Dix actually says in his documentary, "I don't train. I didn't train."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says in that same thing about him and Slav used to sneak off.
Yeah,
And now they're in charge of training. Is that something to think about?
yeah.
Is that an
What
issue?
do you
I don't
think,
know.
guys? Leave some comments. What do you think about that? Is that something that's having an influence on the training? Will, I think he was our competition winner. Will, what is more embarrassing, losing to Astra or our current form?
It's all rolled into one,
It's
isn't it?
rolled into one, yeah.
Yeah, it all links into one. Yeah, it's just as bad as each other, I think. And it's going the right way for relegation at the minute if we don't sort it out. Same Will again. How many goals do you reckon Mikel Antonio will get this season? He can break the heading record, I believe. Is it 9 goals? Most headed goals, so he can actually break that record if he keeps going with a few more headers. I think he will get 12.
I think that's optimistic. What's he on at the minute? 5?
Yeah, but I think he's one of those fits and spurts. You know, like, he'll score 5, then he won't score for 5 games, then he'll score another 5.
I don't know. I think if he gets 10, he'll be doing well.
10 would be
It'd be a good season.
target, yeah.
10. It's a funny question, one of those, like, duck and horse sort of questions. How many 10-year-olds do you think you could take in a fight?
How many 10-year-olds?
It's a very weird question from Jason Ives.
Well, last time I had a fight with about 6 of them and I knocked them all out. So, no, that's a joke. I've never had a fight with a 10-year-old. I don't know. Probably quite a few. How big are 10-year-olds? They're not very big, are they?
I don't know, mate. Someone.
Could they really reach her to do anything? I don't know.
I don't know. 5.
I don't know. How many 10-year-olds you got? I don't know.
Yeah. What are they training? What is their martial arts background?
Yeah, if it was like 10-year-old Bruce Lee, probably just one of them would beat you up, wouldn't it? So,
Tom Down, regular on West Ham Fan TV cams. If you had to lose a testicle and be called oddball, which one would you lose? The left or the right? Left. I like the right side. I'm right-handed.
You know, I've got a scratched eardrum on my right, which causes me balance issues. So I'm going to go left because they might deceive me out a bit. Scientific answer there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's painful thinking about that answer. I don't really know. I don't want to lose either of them.
West Ham fan page. Should West Ham play 2 up front?
No.
No, I think you lose too much in the midfield, and that's a place we really need to be solid in at the moment. You play 2 up front. You said it last week about Leicester, about that they work so hard in that midfield. West Ham haven't got that work rate and that energy to play 4-4-2. They haven't. Andy Smith. In my opinion, the manager should have the say on the signings. But after Toure and Jelavic, do you trust Slav with the kitty? Not sure I do.
We could throw Emenike into them as well.
The thing with Jelavic, though, he was signed as the fourth choice striker at the time, and it was a decent person to have. It was a mate
Do you agree?
who wouldn't kick up a.
Do you agree in football though, of doing your mates a favour? Jelavic is clearly a mate, and Torre is clearly a mate.
Yeah, but you get players like that always sign for the same manager. I'm struggling to think of an example, but there are several examples. Kevin Nolan's one. If you're a manager, you want people around you can trust, because being a football manager, your career is so short. You could be in and out of a job within a year. So within that year, you want people you can trust, and you want people in that dressing room. You want an ear in the dressing room, I guess. There's a bit of that as well. So no, I don't blame him for wanting to bring in his mates. And he's not English. This isn't his country. He's come to a foreign country.
Lanzini was signing as well. Was Lanzini? He said that he's been watching Lanzini at Besiktas when he first came. Didn't he?
So he must have. And I think Payet as well. He said he wanted Payet. He said, apparently David Sullivan said, "Who do you want?" And he said Payet. So let's not write off his signings too much, I don't think. And at the end of the day, I think, as we've said many times, it's a committee.
Yeah. Andy Smith from Facebook, actually. If you could have picked one player from our youth batch that broke through in the early 2000s, Joe Cole, Carrick, Defoe, Glenn Johnson, etc., not to be sold and play their whole career at West Ham, who would it be? I think it's pretty obvious, doesn't it? It's Joe Cole.
Well, I don't know. If you're talking about Paul, I'm not going to set you off again. Don't worry.
I'm waiting for this because I want to talk about him anyway. But go on.
If you talk about if this person had never left, would never have slagged us off, so he never would have known about and he went on to have the same career he had. Lampard.
No, I will give you that, Lee. Like if he would have been at West Ham and scored 100 odd Premier League goals, where would we be as a club? Who knows?
No, I agree with that. I do want to say, because I did send it to you in a message during the week. I just want to put it out there, get your thoughts on it. But so he was asked. It was a question. He was asked in America about what Premier League clubs he has a soft spot for still, and what 3 Premier League clubs. And he said, well, obviously the first one's obviously Chelsea. Played there for however many years, hundreds of appearances. Considers himself now a Chelsea legend. I suppose you'd have to say agree with that. He would be. And then he mentioned Manchester City because of his short time there. He said they made him feel at home and all the rest of it, blah, blah, blah. And then for the third club, the only other club he played for, you're expecting, okay, is he going to actually mention West Ham? No. He said Swansea because he was on loan there for 2 months when he was 17. And that was just such... obviously, he didn't say anything about West Ham, but that was such a dig at West Ham. That really was. No, and I don't know, what do you think about that?
I think, again, I say about Frank all the time, it's like, your dad is a West Ham legend, and are you telling me, I think, what is Frank? Is he like the second or third record appearances for West Ham, the dad? Something like 700 appearances. What, you don't like West Ham? You probably watch West Ham every single week as a kid.
Do you know what bugs me is that we should be proud of Frank Lampard. No, don't get me wrong. No. Let me put a massive slant on what I'm about to say. Is that if Rio Ferdinand, for example, I'm proud that he came through West Ham. That's the thing. That's the point I'm trying to make. Is that Ferdinand's always been dignified when he comes back to West Ham. That's how we should. That's how we could. Let me say. That's how we could feel about Frank Lampard. But he's just gone about it completely the wrong way. And it's a shame, because you should be proud of the players that come through your youth ranks and go on to have great careers.
One of the names there was Defoe as well. Again, another one had his issues with West Ham fans, but again, another one, 100 odd goals in Premier League.
Thing as well, and we've
now.
I don't want to drag up old topics again, but we have said about that before. Yeah, Defoe had his problems with West Ham fans, but not really, because yes, obviously he put in the transfer request, he wanted to leave, did it at the wrong time, poor time and all the rest of it. But at least since then, he's done everything possible to try and build them bridges up. Do you know what I mean? To try and make amends. To say
it was really good. Yeah,
he's done everything possible to say I was wrong. It was a mistake, and fair play to him for that. In response to the original question, it would have to be Joe Cole.
Next question, Sneaks UK. Opinions on Payet playing up in a top 3 role behind the main striker, so sort of like a false 9 position. Wasted in left on the left midfield. Definitely not his strongest attribute. What do we make of that?
I don't
Would
think
you
he
like
could
to
play
see
as
him in the cam position.
don't think it. Well, if he's the only one up there, I don't think it'll work. I mean, you need someone with him. Secondly, you put him in the attacking midfielder position. Again, we just said about playing 4-4-2. You essentially lose a defender from the side. You lose someone who's willing to defend. So I think that's one of the reasons that he plays at one. He's incredibly fantastic. That's a terrible use of English. Sorry. When he plays on the left-hand side, when at France in the summer, they played him in the centre, did not work, switched him out to the left. He was fantastic for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, and Slav actually said, I remember Slav said after the France game, didn't he, like left midfield is actually the position he likes to play.
Do you know the other thing as well? If you put him up against imagine putting him up against two players like James Collins. Let me, as an example, Jagielka and Distan, when they were together at Everton, they would just knock him.
Yeah, just go through it.
Playing out on the fullbacks, you're usually playing against a smaller person.
And you get that space in behind if you've got the attacking fullback running at you.
Yeah, so I personally think it's the right place to play him. That being said, I wish he'd do more defensively.
Last question. MG Hammers. Would the club consider re-employing Ravel Morrison, who left under the Allardyce dodgy agent deal scenario? But now the media reports that a lot of fans want him back to spice up our midfield. Would you take him back?
Not anymore.
I would.
Nah.
I would. No.
The guy's gone to 2 clubs since he left West Ham and done nothing. There must be a reason for that.
Yeah, I agree with that, Lee. I do. As much as he was an unbelievable talent, and I do think there were some dodgy things with Sam while he was here, but you can't blame it all on Sam. You know,
No, you can't blame him. I would have him back though.
He's gone to Italy, made no attempt to learn the language. He hardly plays. If he was the player that he could have been and the player that he was showing signs of being,
that player level now, that Dele Alli level, he should be on that sort of level now.
He should be. I think I said it in the summer. This should have been his Euros.
Yeah,
it should have been the tournament where he set the European football.
Well, yeah, actually, making that point as well. I remember when he was at West Ham under 21s England, and didn't he? Who did he punch? Didn't he punch someone?
Yeah, something like that happened.
He didn't punch someone. He had a Zaha.
Zaha, yeah. So
he had a well, it was handbags, wasn't it? But yeah,
but still, it's not professional, is it? Like to be doing that on a pitch. That's all the questions, guys. Like I say, we kept it nice, short and sweet this week. Thank you to all the subscribers as always.
Can I just throw one thing in before we wrap up? And not that him or anyone associated with him will be watching, but it's sad to hear about Song.
Yeah,
yes, very sad.
Having a stroke. So
he was a decent centre half for us as well.
And of course, we had his nephew playing for us as well, Alex. So fingers crossed that and it looks like he is getting better. So
was he in the Igor Stimac sort of era? Am I thinking the right?
He was basically one of the ones who bought with the Lampard money.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the Rio Ferdinand money. Sorry, he replaced Ferdinand.
Yeah,
but it's
I thought so with Rigobert Song and his family. Very sad times. That is it this week, guys. Thanks for coming again, guys. Paul, Lee, always good to see you. Paul's got to do some videos. I think maybe Lee might knock one out in the week as well. Obviously, there's no vlogs or previews this week because it's the boring international breaks. If Mikel does play, though, I'll probably do a little video, tell you how he got on. If he doesn't play, I won't do one. But yeah, that's it, guys. Come on, you Irons. Keep believing. Hit that subscribe button and keep sharing our stuff. Let's go.
Cheers.